Indiana's 9th Congressional District has been cited by many as a race to watch. Trey Hollingsworth defeated Shelley Yoder in 2016 in what many thought would be a much closer race. Now Hollingsworth faces Democratic challenger Liz Watson. Watson says it's not the D or R next to a candidate's name that matters, it's how they'll confront the issues facing Hoosiers. I just wanted to start broadly, talk a little bit about what this election means to you and what's happening now as we get really close to Election Day.
It's a very diverse district, but there are some real common threads across the district. So, you know, things people are struggling with, being able to afford to fill their prescriptions. I've met with a lot of seniors. I was actually just at one of our retirement communities today. You know, concerns about healthcare costs are paramount. People are very concerned about the opioid crisis in this district. We're terribly concerned about, you know, the discussion around Medicare and Social Security and making sure that those things are there. Investing in our infrastructure and in good jobs here in Indiana.
Let's talk about health care, and we've been hearing about the Medicare for All plan, but some Democrats are split on that. What's your stance? And then of course the big question is then how do you fund that?
So we have insurance companies that are designed to basically by design deny coverage to the very people who they're supposed to be providing coverage for. There's too much profiting off illness in this country. We can walk and chew gum on this one, and what I mean by that is we can protect the health care we have, which is actually responsible for the vast majority of coverage for people who need opioid treatment in Indiana. If we let Trey Hollingsworth, and they have said they're going to try to do this again, rip away our health care, lots of families across southern Indiana are going to find themselves without the coverage they need to get treatment for the opioid crisis. And the question about cost, so there was a study that was funded by the Koch brothers that found that, and this was checked, I just saw PolitiFact just checked it, you know, that found that in the aggregate, healthcare spending will be reduced by about $2 trillion over a decade by moving to a Medicare for All system. So where does that savings come from? It comes from saving on administrative costs, on all the haggling at denying coverage. It comes from allowing us to make sure that we're able to negotiate drug prices.
I wanted to ask you about your decision to bring in Democratic Socialist Bernie Sanders. That was just a few weeks ago. Do you feel like he represents your values and Hoosier values?
I think that we are too much about labels at this point. I'm a Democrat, but you know, as a country, we have spent a whole lot of time putting labels on people, right? And we need to remember that we are all fighting for solutions to some very big problems. We're fighting for healthcare that's affordable and available to every single one of us. We're fighting for great public schools. We're dealing with an opioid crisis that has ravaged our district. We're fighting for living wage jobs, middle class jobs, jobs you can count on that are going to allow you to raise your children, buy a home, and retire with dignity. We're fighting for things that Americans want and need, and that Hoosiers want and need.
Your take, if the Dems get the majority, should they move forward in impeaching Trump?
I don't think that impeachment at this point is a good idea for the country. I think we need to get back to getting things done. I'm focused on the issues facing people in our district.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on.
We reached out to Watson's opponent, Republican incumbent Trey Hollingsworth, multiple times, but never heard back from his campaign.